Okay, so here we go then. Question number 1. First thing I'd like to draw your attention to is this statement here. Okay, you must write down all the stages in your working. They mean that. Okay, and the best thing is just get into the habit of doing it, showing all your working. Every question or every calculation that you do, either in your head or on your calculator, write it down. Okay, and in a way that people can understand. Now, the table shows the melting point of each of 6 metals. So we've got 6 metals: nickel, copper, platinum, gold, silicon and iron, and these are the temperatures at which they melt. Which of the numbers in the table is the smallest number? Now, some people do have trouble with this. It seems quite a simple question to ask, but it's amazing how many of you do still struggle with things like this. So the best thing to do is to think of place values. So do a little table: units, tens, hundreds and thousands. Okay, and then I'm going to, try doing that again. Units, tens, hundreds and thousands. That's better. And I'm going to put these numbers into this into their place values. So we've got 1, 4, 5 and 2. We've got 1083, 1773, 1063, 1411 and 1530. Now, okay, let's look at the thousands column first. They're all the numbers are 1000 and something, which means that this isn't going to help us decide which is biggest, which is smallest. Now let's move on to the hundreds and see which are the smallest numbers. Well, we've got 407045. So it's going to be either this number or this number. Okay. Now let's have a look at the tens. We've got 8 tens here and 6 tens here. Okay. So of the two, this one must be the smallest one, mustn't it? Okay. They both got 3 units, so that doesn't tell us anything. It's just the tens here that tells us that 1063 is slightly smaller than 1083. Okay, so that's going to go in there. 1063. Okay. Then it says write the number 1083 in words. Okay, so again, let's put the number into here, 1083. Just to help us, okay, now we've got, this tells us that we've got 1000, we haven't got any hundreds, we've got 8 tens, so that'll be 80, and we've got 3 units. So this number must be 1083. So that's what we write down here. 1000 and don't forget that word, and 83. Okay. Now it's very easy for the odd digit to appear here. So instead of writing 83, you might stick an 8 in here just by accident. So just make sure that it's all in words and not numbers. Okay. Part C says write down the value of the 5 in the number 1452. Okay, so this time, okay, we'll put 1452 in there this time. Okay, and we can see then that, of course, the 5 here is in the tens column, so that must mean that the 5 is 50. 50. So for that, I would just put 50. Okay. Write the number 1773 correct to the nearest 10. Okay. 1773 to the nearest 10. Well, these are the tens, aren't they? Okay. So what we do is we look at the number next to it, which is the 3, and that is too small, isn't it, for it to round the 7 up. So we would leave this as a 7, And so the answer there will be 177. Okay, now would it make sense to round 1773 to 177? No, this is far too small, isn't it? It's completely the wrong size. So what have we forgotten to do? Well, we've forgotten to put a 0 in here in place of the 3. Okay. So remember that, always ask yourself, if you've rounded a number, is your answer the right size? Is it about the right size? Okay. Always remember to ask yourself that question. Does it make sense? Which number in the table is a multiple of 10? Okay. Well, the multiples of 10 are basically the 10 times table. So you've got 10, 20, 30, and so on. Now, all those numbers end in 0. So what we're after is a number that ends in 0. And we can see from the table the only number actually that ends in 0 is that one. Okay. So that is 1530. 1530. Okay. Next one. One of the numbers in the table, when written correct to the nearest hundred, is 1400. Write down this number. Okay. Now then, let's have a think about this. Let's have a look at the table. So we're looking for numbers that are near to 1400. Okay, let's have a look, see what we've got. Alright, well, let's have a look. Well, straight away, I would say this one's obviously a candidate, isn't it? 1083, no, that's nowhere near 1400. Neither is that one. Neither's this one, but this one is, and again, this one's a bit out. So these are the two numbers that are closest to 1400. Now, which one of these would round to 1400 to the nearest 100? Okay, let's have a look at that then. So we'll take them one at a time. 1, 4, 5, 2. Now, let's see. These are the hundreds here. Okay, so the 5 tells us that we need to round the 4 up. So the 4 will go to 5, which means we'll end up with 1, 5, and then we put 2 zeros in so that the number's the right size. Oh, okay. So that one is 2, but that hasn't rounded to 1400. It's rounded to 1500, so that one's no good. So now we'll try this one, the 1411, 1411. Okay. Let's see. These are the hundreds. These are the hundreds. So the 1 in this case isn't big enough, is it, to round up the 4? So the 4 will stay as it is. So we'll end up with 1, 4, and then 0, 0. And that has rounded to 1400. So in other words, this one is the one we're after, isn't it? So that's 1411 goes in there. Okay, the melting point of silver is 102 degrees C lower than the melting point of gold. Work out the melting point of silver. Okay, so first of all, we're going to need to know what the melting point of gold is, and I think we can find that from the table. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so the melting point of gold is 1063 degrees C. 1063 degrees. 1063 degrees. Okay, that's gold. Okay, now the melting point of silver is 102 degrees lower than this, so I need to take 102 away from that. Okay, you can use your calculator, but this is very easy. We just take 100 away from this, which would leave us with 963, and then we take another 2 away, so that will be 961 degrees centigrade. Okay, so that's the first question done. On to the next video.